Welcome to the podcast Sold by Marco, giving you the current information you've got to know as a buyer, seller, or investor here in Denver. Thank you so much for watching this episode, a seller success story. And yes, I said watching. So this is new. We're now doing this podcast on video. I'm super excited about it. I do have 13 other episodes that I've recorded. They're just on audio. You can find those on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you listen to your podcasts. But one reason I'm doing this podcast in the first place is to help provide some clarity about the real estate market, because let's be real estate can be confusing, right? How do you actually buy or sell a home? So the more information you have, the more clear and confident you can be when it comes time to making important decisions. So let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it. A seller success story. This just happened. Okay, so we closed on this home right before Christmas, and I'm going to give you a look behind the scenes, some of the details that, the ways that we processed some of our decisions and the way that the transaction went all the way to the closing table, and how we ended up selling the home for $65,000 above our list price. There's three things we're going to talk about. One is going to be our pricing strategy. Two is our marketing. And the third was getting multiple offers. Now, those first two factors, pricing and marketing, you can control. But the third, getting multiple offers, like how many buyers are out there, you can't always control that. But if you set yourself up for success by really dialing in those first two, you have a much better chance of getting multiple offers, of getting a higher price, of getting stronger terms, and actually getting the right buyer to the closing table. So let's go ahead and get into it. Pricing strategy. This home was not a very big home. In fact, it was pretty small. Half of a duplex in Sunnyside, one bed, one bath. It was a small home, but Sunnyside is a sweet neighborhood. It's in the Highlands. This home was just down the street from Huckleberry Coffee. I love that spot. I'll go ahead and show you some of the stats on this home. So there's a picture of the outside. We're going to come back to this and look at more photos when we talk about marketing. As you can see, it was just over 1,200 square feet. 500 square feet of that was below ground. It is a one bed, one bath. It did have a 2-car garage, which is pretty cool. Not a lot of these smaller homes in the Highlands have a 2-car garage. So we highlighted the crap out of that when we marketed this place. All right, so we're pricing this home. We're looking at comparable sales. We started by looking at all of the small duplexes in Sunnyside that had closed recently. So we were only looking at the duplexes with 1 or 2 bedrooms or 1 or 2 bathrooms. And when we looked at there's 15 homes that we found that were comparable, and I'll show you where these are. Okay, so here's a map of Denver. This is downtown. We're just over here on the other side of 25. This is Sunnyside. It's part of the Highlands. So this is all 15 of the homes that we were using as our comparable sales. When we looked at these 15 homes, we found the average days on market, which is how long the home sits on the market before it was from when it was listed to when it goes under contract. That's the days on market. We're going to look at this here. Here's all 15 of those homes. Scroll down here, the average days on market, which is right here, 18. Almost 3 weeks. That sucks. That's a long time for a house to be on the market. Now, we noticed this when we're looking at the comps. First thing we thought right off the bat, when we get into more of these details here and actually look at the range of value, we really want to be careful not to overprice the home, which is one of the number one mistakes sellers do. Because we're already not set up for unsuccess, but like selling a small duplex is tough. Not every buyer is going to want it. Whereas if you're selling like a single family home with, more bedrooms and more bathrooms, it's a detached home on a nice lot, that's going to hit a bigger buyer pool than one of these smaller duplexes. So really had to be careful to not overprice it. We looked at all those comps and we were comparing our home to theirs with square footage, with beds and baths, with garage spaces. We're looking at the unique features of our homes and our home and their homes. We're looking at the updates, right? Our bathroom wasn't that updated. If we found one, that sold for a certain price with a really remodeled or updated bathroom, we would take that into consideration. Looking at garage spaces, where the home sat in the neighborhood, the size of the lot. There's a lot of factors we were taking into consideration. We found ultimately the value for this house in Sunnyside at that point in time was about $420,000 on the low side to about 450,000 on the high side. One other thing we noticed was there was some new build townhomes right around the corner that started at $450,000. We didn't want to look like a bad deal by pricing right next to theirs because this duplex was built in 1901. It's a much different home. So, and the last thing here, we have to hold price with an open mind, even when we did pick a price. We don't want to actually lock in what we're going to list the home at until a week before we go to market. So we might have a price in mind, and we did have a price in mind. As you get closer and closer to listing the home, if several homes that are similar to that sell right before you go to the market, you're going to want to take that into consideration before you list the price. Also, if a bunch of homes come on the market that are similar and you look at how they're priced, you might want to consider that so that you price your home to make it look like a better deal. So all of these factors work together for us to determine the list price of the home. We ended up pricing it at $425,000, which was on the low end of that range. So it made it look like a good deal. Also, pricing it in increments of $25,000, we call that pricing on the bridge. So that's good because you're going to hit people from multiple buckets. So anyone who is shopping up to that price will see it, and anyone who's shopping at that price or above will see it. All right, so that's pricing strategy. Moving into the second thing, marketing. So this is another factor you absolutely can control. Now, when you are marketing a home, right, you're really getting good quality photos and video and, good staging and really good marketing plan, getting it all the websites. You're telling a story. You are putting your home out there for buyers to see. And it's really important that you don't mess this up because first impressions make a big impact. The more first impressions you make that are good, the more likely you're going to have people that get excited about the house, the more showings you'll have, the more offers, the better price, etc. So one of the things sellers got to start with are there any projects I need to do? Are there any things that are really outdated that need some attention? Most of the time, a home needs some sort of paint, unless it's already got neutral colors or it's white everywhere. But in this case, the home, when you walked in, had a really bright teal accent wall in the living room, and it had more teal going throughout the hallway. So in this example, when we looked at the home, me and the seller decided, this home is going to do a lot better if we just paint the whole damn thing white. Let's just paint it white. Now, I thought the accent wall looked kind of cool. In fact, I used to have a room that was painted completely teal. When Lizzie and I were dating, I painted this room totally bright blue teal. It was so obnoxious, but I thought it was super fun, right? Now, when you have buyers who are going to look at your home online, see the pictures, you don't want them distracted by anything. You want the photos to look awesome. And I am going to show you those photos here in a minute. We also had really high quality staging, right? So after we determined, any projects that need to be done, paint was a big one in this case. Then I brought my stager in and she decided, these light fixtures are good, but I'm going to change this table. That dresser over there is cool, but I'm going to change this artwork, right? That's her department. She's very, very good. I work with high quality stagers, high quality photographers, videographers. All these things make a big impact and they make your home show really well. And that's what we did. So let's go ahead and look at some of the pictures here of the house. So we already saw the outside here. And this was the highlight picture. It's the first thing people see. And we kind of did this dusk picture where it's, a little bit of a glow with the sun and it's pretty. Let's see, here's some more exterior photos. Here's the inside. One of these walls was bright blue before. Now, as you can see, it's all white, nice and neutral. Everything looks sharp. Over here, this is the kitchen. It does have tall ceilings, and this light that my seller had in here really made the ceilings look really tall. It's cool. This bedroom, boy, it was small. It was a small ass bedroom. And this picture is taken with a wide angle lens. It's not lying, but when you're looking at these photos, you can't really tell that the bathroom is tiny or the bedroom is tiny, but that's okay. It makes people think, oh, nice bedroom. And then when they got there, they can decide, is it too small for me or is it fine? And there was plenty of buyers who thought it was fine. Let's see here. This is that basement space I was telling you about. It's a cool flex space. It actually had 7-foot ceilings, which is rare for these, like 1901 homes in Sunnyside. A lot of them have basements you can't really even walk into. And there's backyard, 2-car garage, pretty cool. And I also had a video. So I had the photography company the media company, do also a video walkthrough so that buyers could get a real idea of what it was like in that space. For smaller spaces, this is really good. For bigger spaces, it's good to have a 3D walkthrough tour or, a floor plan, things like that. So you kind of just got to decide like what's going to set my home up for the best chance of success so that buyers who are looking at it can really get a feel for this home. Because if you've ever shopped for a home, you look at pictures like a shit ton. Okay, so anyone who went to see this home had already looked at these photos like 100 times. They knew it. They knew what they were looking at. They knew what the home layout was going to be when they got there. And so because people are spending so much time on their phones, on their computers, looking at your home, you got to make sure it looks as good as possible. All these things work together to tell this story. And that's what we did here with our marketing plan. And this helped get us the best chance of success, right? Because from the time people see that first picture of the home that I showed you to where they go and book a showing, they do the walkthrough, and then they decide they want to write an offer, buyers can sometimes be emotional. You want them to be excited about the home. You want them to love it. You want them to imagine themselves in it. It's why you don't want to have a bright blue accent wall if you can help avoid that, right? Because it's something that could distract from that story. All right, pricing strategy and marketing. That leads us to getting multiple offers. Something else we did is we put ourselves in a coming soon status. This was a preview mode. Okay, so this is like before the home goes live, there was a week where people could be booking the showings, getting excited about the home. So that's what we did. This is something that can help. We also had an offer deadline, super important. So we listed the home. We went live on a Thursday. We had showings Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We said offers are due by Sunday at 5. We'll accept an offer by Monday at 5. No exceptions. This is very good for a seller to do. If you listen to my last episode 13, you'll hear me tell a buyer success story and how we took advantage of a case where there was no offer deadline and how that really helped us get a home, right? If you're selling a home, you don't really want to do that. You want to let everyone see the home. You want to have the buyers get into a bidding war. You want multiple offers at the highest price and the best terms. I also had a couple of open houses. I have a really solid marketing department. We put out flyers to the neighborhood. I had really high quality print pieces, flyers inside the home. I have a high quality sign. We had this home on every website, right? We marketed this thing like crazy. We do this with every home. This is a step that some people do this well, and some people kind of skip through some of these things. All of this stuff makes a difference, right? You want to set yourself up for the best chance at multiple offers. One reason my sellers hire me is I'm good at negotiating the best contract. You're dealing with people. I'm a person representing a seller. I'm dealing with buyers agents who are representing buyers. We're talking about how many offers are coming in. They're asking me lots of questions. They're trying to write an offer to beat the last person, right? This is this whole complicated thing that works together, and I've got to know how to handle it. So all these things work together, and we ended up getting 18 offers. That's a lot of offers, especially for a 1-bed, 1-bath duplex listed right before Christmas. We ended up closing, we picked an offer. It was cash offer, $490,000. It did close there, as is on inspection. So no appraisal, no items asked for on inspection, closing in a couple of weeks. Basically the perfect offer. 115% of our list price is what that ended up going for. Even if we had listed on the high side at $450,000, still that's 9% over list price. So, and the deal closed, right? You can control all these factors, but let's say a buyer changes their mind, can't control that factor, right? But we had 17 other offers in the queue. So, and that buyer who won, they knew that. So they were very unlikely to come back and play any games with trying to renegotiate terms or anything like that. So when you have, a good pricing strategy and a good marketing strategy, you are just most likely going to get multiple offers. It's going to set your seller up for the best chance of success with high price, high terms, and closing the deal. And that's what happened. Okay, that's it. Thanks so much for listening to this episode, a seller success story. If you have questions about anything you heard today, feel free to reach out to me. My contact information is listed in the show notes. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can go to my channel and scroll over to the About Me section, and my information is listed below there. Thanks again for subscribing to the show, however you're watching or listening to this. Hope you found it helpful. Love people, I love real estate, and I love selling homes. This has been an original production of Super Team Media. I'm your host, Marco Randazzo, and thanks again for listening to this real estate podcast, Sold by Marco.